If you're over 60 and every morning you wake up, look in the mirror and notice that your skin feels drier, thinner, and less radiant, even though you slept well the night before, took good care of your skin, and even took collagen faithfully for many years, then please pause for a moment. And please, don't rush to blame yourself. So many women over 60 have told me the exact same thing. They did almost everything right, but the results on their skin didn't reflect all that effort. The truth is this: after 60, the body no longer processes collagen the same way it used to. Not because collagen has stopped working, not because you aren't taking enough, but because the body is now operating on a completely different biological rhythm. And there is one thing very few people ever tell you. The morning right after you wake up is one of the rare moments when the body is ready to listen, to receive, and to distribute nutrients for skin repair. In this video, I'm going to share with you a very simple morning drink. Not expensive, not complicated, but one that can support collagen production and help your skin look fresher in a natural way, especially suited for a woman's body after 60. But before we continue, I want to ask you one small question. Where are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment below and tell me the city or state where you live. I read every single comment, and it truly helps me understand how to create content that fits women in different regions more thoughtfully. And if you feel that the Woman Over 60 Secrets channel brings you understanding, gentle knowledge that truly aligns with your body at this stage of life, please tap subscribe to stay with me. The goal of this channel is to reach 100,000 subscribers, so that the voices about health, skin, and the value of women after 60 can be heard more widely, respected more deeply, and shared more powerfully. Now, let's begin starting with your morning. Once you understand that the morning is a very special biological quiet window for the body, the next question naturally arises in the minds of many women. If I'm still eating carefully and still taking good care of my skin, why isn't my collagen recovering the way it used to? The answer lies in a subtle but very important change. After 60, collagen does not disappear. Your body still has the ability to produce collagen every single day, but the way the body prioritizes how collagen is used has changed. When you were younger, blood circulation was faster, the nervous system was more flexible, and energy was distributed more generously. The skin was considered an important area to maintain youthfulness. But over time, especially after 60, the body becomes more cautious. It learns how to conserve. It prioritizes the organs that help you stay alive, alert, and mobile. In that context, the skin, although still important, is no longer at the top of the priority list. Not because the body has abandoned you, but because it is doing exactly what it is designed to do: protect you first. This is why many women notice that when they wake up in the morning, their skin often feels drier, less elastic, and more likely to show age than it did the night before. Not because the skin suddenly worsened overnight, but because during the night, the body didn't have the conditions needed to invest deeply in skin repair. You may still be sleeping enough hours, but if circulation is slow, if the nervous system hasn't truly settled, if nighttime energy is still being used for digestion, blood sugar regulation, or quiet stress, then collagen is maintained at only a minimal level. And this is the key point that very few people explain to women after 60. Collagen doesn't just need to be supplemented. It needs to be placed at a time when the body is ready to use it for the skin. If the timing isn't right, no matter how consistently you take collagen, the results on your skin will remain very subtle. That's why understanding the body's new biological rhythm after 60 is more important than finding yet another new product. And when you begin working with your body, instead of forcing it to function like it did when you were younger, things gradually begin to change in a gentler, more sustainable way. In the next part, I'll explain more clearly why the morning right after you wake up is the time when the body is most receptive to skin repair signals, and why one very small change in your morning routine can make a meaningful difference for skin after 60. Once you understand that collagen hasn't disappeared, but simply isn't prioritized the way it once was, one very important thing becomes clear. Collagen is only used effectively when the body feels ready. And after 60, The time when the body is most ready does not last all day. It appears in only a very short window right after you wake up in the morning. After a night of rest, the body has just exited its nighttime repair state and is quietly resetting its rhythm for the new day. At this moment, many internal systems are still calm. The nervous system hasn't yet been pulled into information or pressure. Blood sugar hasn't started fluctuating strongly. The digestive system hasn't begun heavy work. The body is in a state of listening. In this state, the signals that arrive first have a powerful influence on how energy will be distributed for many hours afterward. The body notes what comes first, what repeats consistently, and what makes it feel safe. For women after 60, this sense of safety opens the door to more subtle repair processes, including support for skin collagen. If the morning begins with rushing, strong coffee on an empty stomach, or no gentle signals at all, the body quickly shifts into alert mode. In that state, energy is directed toward staying awake and coping, not toward nourishing or repairing the skin. On the other hand, when the morning unfolds more slowly, the body doesn't have to run from the very first minute. Circulation becomes steadier, the nervous system softens, and energy is distributed in a more orderly way. It is under these conditions that the skin finally has a chance to be supported from within, not through force, but because the body willingly begins to invest again in tissues that need long-term nourishment. This is why many women notice that when their mornings feel more stable, their skin feels softer during the day, less dry, and their face looks less fatigued, even though they haven't changed any skincare products at all. And when you place just one very small signal into your morning, a signal that matches your current biological rhythm, the body understands. This is a safe day for repair. When the body has received the signal that this morning is unfolding in a safe and stable way, it begins to prepare for more subtle internal decisions, no longer driven by immediate survival reflexes, but by selective allocation toward long-term needs, including the skin. And at this point, what the body needs is not a complicated formula, nor an expensive drink. The most effective option is actually very simple. It is a glass of warm water, combined with a natural source of vitamin C. Warm water, first of all, acts as a gentle signal that allows the body to wake up without being startled. It softens the digestive system, helps circulation start up gradually, and creates conditions for blood to flow more evenly to peripheral tissues, including the skin. When circulation is activated in the right way, the skin is no longer left behind. It begins receiving oxygen and nutrients earlier in the day. This is especially important for women after 60, when blood flow is no longer as fast or as strong as it once was. Along with warm water, vitamin C from natural sources acts like a key. The body cannot synthesize collagen without vitamin C. But more importantly, vitamin C helps the body recognize that this is an appropriate time to invest in tissue repair. A slice of lemon, a bit of fresh orange juice, or simply eating a few berries after drinking warm water is enough to send that signal. No high doses are needed. No sharp acidity is required, just enough for the body to recognize it. For women after 60, results do not come from more, but from the right timing. When this signal appears consistently every morning, the body begins to relearn a new habit. It understands that each day includes a safe window for repair, for nourishment, and for maintaining tissues that need long-term care. And when the body trusts this rhythm, collagen, whether produced from food or supplements, has more opportunities to be used for the skin rather than being diverted to more urgent demands. This also explains why many women notice that their skin feels less dry during the day, softer to the touch, and that makeup applies more smoothly after just a few weeks of adjusting their mornings. Not because the skin has become younger, but because it is being treated according to its proper role in this stage of life. The important thing to remember is this. This habit is not meant to replace any other skincare method. It simply serves as an opening signal, helping the body begin the day in cooperation rather than resistance. When the morning begins gently, the body does not need to spend energy defending itself, and when it is not in defense mode, it can return to more refined tasks like nourishing the skin from within. Just one glass of warm water, just a small amount of natural vitamin C, placed at the moment when the body is ready to listen, is enough to create a quiet, steady difference that truly suits women after 60. Once there is a morning signal gentle enough for the body to be willing to cooperate, the next important step is to avoid habits that unintentionally pull the body back into a state of alert, because just one wrong signal appearing too early can push the entire system that prioritizes skin repair and nourishment off to the side. One of the most common habits is drinking strong coffee immediately after waking up, on an empty stomach. This isn't a problem for younger people, but for women after 60, it often sends a very different message. Strong coffee stimulates the nervous system to speed up abruptly. The body understands this as the day is starting in a state that requires quick alertness and fast reactions. And in that state, energy is directed toward vigilance, not towards slow repair processes like collagen. This doesn't mean you have to give up coffee. It simply means its timing should come after the body has received its first signal of safety. Another habit that seems harmless is skipping drinking water entirely in the morning. After a long night, the body is always in a state of mild dehydration. When fluids are not replenished early, circulation slows even further. The skin, already low on the priority list, has an even harder time receiving nutrients in the early hours of the day. Many women say they don't feel thirsty in the morning, but thirst is not always a reliable signal after 60. The body may have adapted to functioning in a mildly dehydrated state, and the skin is where this shows most clearly. Another often overlooked habit is starting the day with sweets or refined carbohydrates. A small pastry, a bottle of packaged fruit juice, or an overly sweet breakfast can cause blood sugar to rise quickly. When blood sugar fluctuates early, the body is forced to prioritize rebalancing its internal systems. In that process, all long-term repair plans are put on hold. Collagen, once again, is not on the priority list. In addition, rushing and stress right after waking up are factors that are frequently underestimated. When you jump out of bed, grab your phone, read the news, or worry about work or family, the nervous system quickly slips into a state of quiet tension. In that state, the body cannot distinguish between real danger and mental pressure. It only knows one thing: this is not the time to invest in nourishing the skin. What's important to understand is this: most women don't do these things because they're wrong, but because no one ever told them how sensitive the body becomes to morning signals after 60. Sometimes, a very small change in sequence, drinking warm water first, giving the body a few quiet minutes, and only then moving on to coffee, breakfast, or other activities can create a noticeable difference. And if you're asking yourself, out of the habits mentioned, how many apply to me? Try looking back at your mornings over the past few days. If you recognize one or two of these habits, comment number 1. If you notice 3 or more, comment number 2. Not to blame yourself, but to begin understanding more clearly why your skin is responding the way it is, and why, with the right adjustments, your body can absolutely begin to cooperate again. Once you've recognized which morning signals may be unintentionally putting your body into a state of tension, the next step is not to change everything all at once. In fact, the body after 60 doesn't respond well to big, sudden changes. It reacts best to small adjustments, repeated consistently, that create a sense of safety. One of the simplest habits, yet one with very long-lasting impact, is maintaining steady hydration during the first 2 hours of the day. There's no need to drink a large amount at once, just small sips, enough to keep circulation from slowing down. When blood flow remains steady, the skin no longer falls into an early state of shortage. And collagen, even though it's produced in smaller amounts than in youth, has more opportunities to be used where it's needed. Another habit that's often underestimated is eating a light, protein-containing breakfast. After 60, the body needs a clear signal that the new day is not a day of scarcity. The protein doesn't need to be large in quantity, just enough for the body to recognize that it doesn't need to conserve energy for emergencies. When the sense of shortage decreases, the body is more willing to allow repair processes to take place alongside daily activity. Morning light also plays a very important role. Just a few minutes of exposure to early sunlight helps reset the biological rhythm in the right direction. When the internal clock is stable, Hormones throughout the day are distributed more evenly, and when hormones are balanced, the skin responds more positively to nourishing signals from within. Another point that's rarely explained clearly to women after 60 is the importance of preventing the mind from slipping into stress right at the start of the day. Not because worrying is wrong, but because the body cannot distinguish mental stress from real physical danger. Just a few quiet minutes after waking up, before picking up the phone or thinking about tasks and responsibilities, is enough to help the nervous system stay more balanced. And when the nervous system calms, the body tends to allocate energy to more refined functions, including maintaining the skin. The most important thing to remember is this: these habits do not create instant results. They won't make your skin look plump after just one morning. But they create a stable environment in which collagen, even in smaller amounts, is not wasted. Many women say that after a few weeks of maintaining these small adjustments, they notice their skin is no longer declining as quickly as before. It stays soft for longer during the day. The feeling of dryness and tightness gradually decreases, and the face looks less tired by late afternoon. Not because they did anything extraordinary, but because their body finally felt safe enough to cooperate. And when the body begins to cooperate, every other skincare effort, from diet and sleep to topical products, has a much stronger foundation to work effectively. When these small morning adjustments are repeated long enough, a very subtle change begins to take place. Not loud, not sudden, but enough for many women to notice that their body is responding in a different way. Many women at this age once believed that skin after 60 could only move in one direction. Thinner every year, drier every year, harder to recover every year. But what actually changes most after 60 is not the ability to produce collagen, but the body's willingness to allow collagen to be used for the skin. When the body consistently receives signals of safety through stable mornings, through gently supported circulation, through a nervous system that isn't pushed into tension too early, it gradually begins to open the door again to long-term care processes. In this state, the skin is no longer seen as something extra. It is brought back onto the list of tissues that need to be maintained. This change often shows up in very small ways. The skin holds moisture longer throughout the day. The feeling of tight dryness decreases, especially in the afternoon, the time when the skin used to look most tired. Wrinkles don't disappear, but the face looks softer, less harsh in expression. Most importantly, many women begin to change the way they look at their own skin. There is no longer the feeling of constantly having to fight time, no longer the pressure to fix every sign of aging. Instead, there is a sense of moving with the body, of respecting its current rhythm. And this shift in attitude helps the body maintain balance even more easily. This is especially true for women after 60. At this stage, the body responds very clearly to how it is treated. When it is forced, it closes off. When it is listened to, it cooperates. And when the body cooperates, the skin doesn't need to be perfect to look healthy. Healthy-looking skin is skin with stable circulation, natural moisture, and a reflection of an internal system that is working in harmony. Many women say they no longer look in the mirror with the same anxiety as before. They begin to notice small positive signals each day, not to compare themselves to their youth, but to feel change in a gentler, more comfortable direction. And perhaps this is the most important part of the skincare journey after 60. Not trying to turn back time, but creating a new relationship with the body, one based on understanding, patience, and respect. When that relationship is established, every small habit throughout the day, from morning to night, begins to matter. Looking back at everything we've just covered, you may have noticed one very clear truth. Skin after 60 doesn't need more. It needs what's right. Not more products, not higher doses, but small signals placed at the right time, aligned with the body's current biological rhythm. A morning that begins more gently, a simple glass of warm water, a moment of listening before rushing into the day. These seemingly small things are actually the foundation for long-term cooperation from the body. If you feel this video has helped you understand your body better, please tap like to support the channel. If you know a friend who may be going through similar changes, share this video as a gentle message of understanding. And don't forget to subscribe to Woman Over 60 Secrets so we can continue building a community of women after 60 who are heard, respected, and cared for in the way that best suits them.